All right, so welcome to today's webinar on stress management and burnout prevention. So my name is Tong Tong, a certified life coach and Reiki master. And here is our amazing CEO of coaching season, Christy.
Hey,
Yay!
how are you?
Really great.
So excited
So,
to be here
mhm,
today.
yeah, and we are really excited to learn and grow together with you guys on how to better take care of your stress level.
Yes.
So, so how are you guys doing today? Like happy, exhausted, or ready for the next 1 hour to explore and release stress you recently hold? So feel free to type any of your ideas in the chat box anytime you want. And let me ask you this. So, are you feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders? Is the constant pressure of work, relationships, and everyday life taking its toll on you? Or do you feel like you are on the brink of burnout? Well, you are not alone. And in fact, stress and burnout have become a really widespread epidemic in today's society. So, but as Hans Asili said, it's not the stress that kills us. It's really our reaction to it. So the good news is that there are many evidence-based tools and techniques that can help you like manage stress and prevent burnout. So that's the reason why we are here today to equip you guys with many like useful knowledge and skills you need to better take care of your well-being. So actually, in the next 1 hour, we're going to cover four topics. So, we will explore the causes, effects of stress and burnout, identify personal stressors and triggers, learn a wide range of practical strategies that can help you cope with stress, including like mindfulness techniques, time management skills, and interesting emotional freedom techniques, tapping, and effective communication strategies. So we will also discuss the importance and techniques for building resilience to prevent burnout. But actually, this workshop is more than just a lecture because it's an interactive experiences to design to help you explore your own unique stressors and develop personalized coping strategies to deal with this. So we will have many hands-on exercises, group discussions, and self-reflection activities, so you can gain a deeper understanding and practical skills. So, whether you're a student, a professional, or anyone in between, this workshop is for you guys. So, it's the time to take care of your holistic health and start living a healthier and more balanced life. So, let's join us and welcome Christine to talk about our first topic, the causes and effects of stress and burnout.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, I think the first thing that I want to say is a lot of times people love to feel busy, right? So I'm too busy, I'm stressed. And people think that this is a good state to be in. A lot of people feel that this is a state of progress. And that's how we know that we're killing it out there, and all of these things. And I'll tell you that it's not the way to go. I think that that's more about ego than it is about anything else. And I'm going to today discuss all of the reasons why that's probably not the best idea for you. Um, and then after that, we'll discuss how to cope with all of these issues. And then Tong Tong is going to show us a lot of great techniques. So I'm excited about that. All right, so let's go ahead and let's dive in. Let's talk about the common causes of stress in your personal life. Okay, so we're going to go through each one of these that you see here. So, first thing is the first major cause of stress in a person's personal life is around personal relationships. And this can be a really significant source of stress. And relationship conflicts don't just mean with the spouse, we're talking about with partners and family members and even friends. It can be emotionally and mentally draining when we have these types of issues. So when individuals are dealing with these types of problems, they tend to feel distracted, irritable, and it makes it difficult to focus on other areas of life. For me, I recently had an issue occur that I didn't necessarily want to happen, and it consumed a good 2 or 3 days of my brain. When it came to my work life, I found myself making mistakes and I couldn't function because I was thinking about that issue. And no matter how hard I try to not think about that issue, we're all human, right? And we try all of the techniques that we can. But at the end of the day, we are human and we have to give ourselves time to kind of go through those feelings and those emotions. But here's the problem: when we're in relationship problems and it's a bit too much, in some cases it will start to lead to depression and anxiety, and it's a real big challenge to maintain good mental health in that situation. So you definitely want to, and we'll talk later today about some of the techniques that we can do to maneuver around that. The next big one in our personal life is around financial difficulties. So financial problems, gosh, there's so many financial. Right now, we have this huge layoff that's going on across the United States. The people are in so much debt; they're losing their jobs. They're insecure when it comes to food, and all of these things cause a great deal of stress and burnout. And it leads to a lot of different types of feelings. Some of those feelings that it leads to, if you're wondering, why am I feeling anxiety? Why am I feeling uncertainty? Why am I feeling fear? Um, it's really because it could be financial issues that's causing that stress. So you definitely want to ask yourself that, and we'll do a little activity where we'll explore that as well. Thank you, Carlos. So you know what? Before I keep going, I'm going to say hello to a few people that I see in the comments. Why don't I want to know who is out there? But Carlos, hello. Minnie, hello. Jason, hello. Marvin is on as well. Anybody else on? Go ahead and drop your name in the comments. I know John is here with us today. Yes, perfect. All right. So, difficulties, we talked about that, right? This is another big source of stress. Um, then, health problems. If we are sick, it creates a whole slew of problems, right? So, especially if it's a chronic illness or a disability that we have, this can lead to the same type of feelings of being overwhelmed and anxious and uncertain about our future. And health problems can definitely lead you down the path of stress and anxiety. So we want to try to maintain as healthy as humanly possible. And we do that by attending courses like this, where we are paying attention to our mental health. We have a couple of other people on as well. Jasmine and Jose, hello, hello. Christine, hello. Divine is here. Divine Diva. Ooh, I love that. Perfect. I'll place their comments online in a second. But then the last one that we have is around life changes, right? So significant life changes, such as moving, changing jobs, or starting a different family, right? These are really big sources of burnout and can cause a lot of stress. And when individuals are faced with this, they just feel really scared and uncertain. Hi, Nicole. And we want to make sure that we talk about these things so that we can get ahead of it. I know a lot of people in my circle that are going through some major life transitions, and I just want to be there to support them as much as possible. And that's what we can do as friends for our loved ones as well. So now that we have talked about, what are the major causes in our personal life of stress. These are kind of the four categories that are biggest. Let's talk about what effects it has in our personal life, because it really starts to grow from there. So if we can turn to the next slide, slide 4. Perfect. All right. So here is a list for you. Stress and burnout can have a significant impact on your physical health. So if you're wondering, why am I feeling fatigued? Why do I have high blood pressure? Why am I feeling pain? Right? it could definitely be because you are burnt out or stressed out. So those are some of the things that you want to watch out for. The next one is it can cause emotional problems such as depression, anxiety, and irritability. And these emotional issues can lead to just us feeling hopeless. And when we feel hopeless, it gets very dangerous because it's hard to come out of that. Okay. If you notice that you are social isolating yourself, right? So you're staying away from your friends and staying away from your family members. Um, this can this really is an indicator that you may be stressed and you may be burnt out. If you have difficulty sleeping or insomnia, or quite the opposite from that, right? Sleeping way too much is another sign that you could be burnt out. So we want to make sure to pay attention to that. And then the last two here that we have is it can essentially reduce your overall quality of life and enjoyment in the activities that you once found pleasurable. So if you loved to go to parties and you love to go to the club, or if you love to go to fine restaurants, and then all of a sudden you find that you're not liking that as much anymore, that's a big indicator that you may be burnt or stressed out. And it becomes really dangerous with the last one here because you are at a higher risk of substance abuse. So these people are known to turn towards these different substances in order to help them cope, right? And that can be a really dangerous and slippery slope. So, did this resonate with you? Let me know in the chat. Tell me, how do you feel about the information that we've provided so far? I'll give you guys a minute to just pop it into the chat. All right, we may have a delay, so I'm going to go ahead and keep going, but go ahead and dump some comments in the chat box. I would love to continue to hear from you. Give me some emojis and all those cool things. So we talked about your personal life, right? And that is one area, and that's one area that coaching season works in as well. And what we'll do is now we're going to switch and we're going to talk about your professional life, which is another area for coaching season because these are two areas of life that we have to have a great deal of balance. So let's go ahead and let's go to slide 5. Oh, we're getting some comments here. So perfect. So we have Christine. She's currently in the process of moving and transitioning jobs all at the same time. Oh, that is a lot. That is a lot to deal with. And Jason says that he agrees with everything that we're saying. I love that. Perfect. Marvin is saying that he can identify. I love this. So keep those comments coming. So that's perfect. All right. So we're going to talk about the 4 causes of stress in your professional life. So how do we get stressed out in our professional life? So the first one is a high workload, right? So workload demands such as existing deadlines or excessive deadlines, long working hours, or they keep right now what they're probably doing is increasing your level of responsibility while they're laying other people off, right? All of these things can definitely cause a great amount of stress. Poor work culture, right? So having a negative workplace culture such as bullying or harassing, or if there's just a lack of support, that really can cause a lot of stress and burnout. And when you work in a negative workplace, you just feel undervalued, right? And unsupported. And you walk around fearful that today could be the day, the writing's on the wall, right? And that's not a space that you want to be in for a very long time. The next one is around lack of control or autonomy. And essentially, this is if you are the type of person that likes to take control and likes to make decisions and likes to just have a lot of control within their day. these people, and that's a lot of us. We if we don't have that control, it will lead to stress because it's going to lead to just poor job satisfaction in general. And then the last one is if you don't have enough resources. So if you were not trained correctly for your job, if you don't have the tools that you need, this can cause a huge amount of stress. And how does that affect us in our professional life? Well, you can only imagine. So we're going to talk about that too. And in our in our professional lives, it has some major effects. And I would say all of these effects lead towards the inevitable, which we're trying to avoid: getting fired, getting laid off, right? But when we're stressed out, that's where it leads. So it leads to reduced productivity and work performance. And what's the result of that, right? Poor reviews. You have a really rough time in meetings, and it just starts to spiral from that point. And it's just this vicious circle that creates more and more stress. Um, you start to become the person that's calling out sick. Right, and the sick time is going up, and now you're starting to calculate how much sick time you have left, and it's only March. That's a sign that this is probably stressful for you or burning you out. This also causes difficulties concentrating and making decisions. So have you ever been in the middle of some type of situation, and if you would have just had 2 more minutes, you would have responded a completely different way. But because you're completely burnt out, you respond another way. And this is what happens. We have When we are completely stressed and burnt out, it leads to difficulties concentrating, memory problems, right? Reduced cognitive function. So you're not processing as you should. It also leads to higher workplace accidents and increased turnover, right? So if you're a leader of your organization and you're trying to retain your employees, make sure that you're paying attention to them in this space as well, because it definitely correlates to high turnover. And then last but not least, it just really affects our team dynamics. Everyone is stressed out. Everybody is starting to become rude to each other and rolling their eyes, and that's affecting productivity, right? It's really not going to give us the productivity that we need. All right. So let's do a little activity, and then I'm going to turn it over to Tong Tong after the activity. How does that sound, everybody? Let me know in the chat. Are you ready for an activity? And I know it's going to take a little while for the comments to come in, but they will come in because they are here. All right. So Venus says that she is ready for this activity. Minnie says she is ready for the activity. All right. Jason is ready. Christine is ready, and Carlos is ready. All right, so let's do this. Go ahead, and I want you to grab your pen, your paper. That's how I do it. Or you can grab your iPad, depending on the age group here. But go ahead and grab that pen or paper or iPad. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to identify, Marissa, hello. We're going to start to identify, how do we go about getting stressed? It doesn't just happen, right? We know when it's coming. A lot of times we can identify when these types of situations are coming our way, and how we react to it makes a world of difference here. So let's talk about stressors first. So that's what we'll begin this portion of the workshop with stressors. So a stressor is an event or a situation or a circumstance that causes stress in our lives, right? So that is the stressor. This is causing stress. And then you have a trigger. That, on the other hand, is a specific thought or a feeling or an experience that leads you to become stressed or anxious. And identifying our personal stressors and our personal triggers can really help us to better manage stress. It can help us to build resiliency and improve your overall well being. So, to begin, what I want everyone to do is to start to sit back and just reflect for a minute on some recent stressful situations that you've experienced. What was the circumstance that led you to those stressful situations? Do we have any common themes or patterns? So, for example, I would write down work deadlines. I would probably write down traffic during my commute, or lack of exercise, or financial worries, right? These are things that are causing stress in my life. So go ahead and write down on the sheet of paper the things that are causing stress in your life. And I'll give you about 30 seconds to do that because I'm sure you've already started writing as I've been talking. Oh, yes. Eddie has a great comment, and Eddie is a life coach as well. And he says that there are so many triggers in the world today, people being triggered without self awareness, right? They don't even know that they're being triggered. And he loves the content that we're talking about. It looks like Minerva customer service. Talking to customer service is a cause of stress and frustration. Okay. Um, Another cause of stress and frustration for Eddie is around neck and back pain, so leading towards the health issues, right? Yeah, absolutely. Someone that has a lot of passion and drive. This is a good one, right? So, not being successful enough in my passion in my career, we always feel like we need to go after more and more and more. So that's another good one. All right. Jason says customer service also. That is not what that is a pain for him. All right. So now that you wrote these down, I'm not going to ask you to share any of the personal ones, but now you already have a list of what are some of your stressors, right? Unexpected expenses, Carlos says. Absolutely. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to identify our triggers. So triggers can be a little bit more challenging to identify, but these are essential in understanding your stress response. You have to know your triggers. So I want you to think about a recent time where you felt stressed and anxious. What were you thinking or feeling at the moment? What physical sensations did you experience? Um, is This is knowing what these feelings and what these emotions are is truly essential to recognize um, that it's about to happen to you. And let me tell you, what is a stressor for me or a trigger for me might not be a stressor or a trigger for you. So it's very unique to each person. Some of the things that I would write down here, and we can go ahead and take that time to start writing down here. A trigger is a coworker interrupting me during a presentation, right? Or feeling frustrated or embarrassed. Um, these could be potential triggers. And go ahead and take some time to write down what your triggers are, and then let me know in the chat box, what triggers you have. Carlos put a good one here. It's the direction of the world in climate change, getting behind on tasks. Okay. Give me a few more triggers. And while you're putting that in the chat box, what I do want to say is this is just an activity that we're doing now very quickly, but this is something that I would really we've gone through the activity so that you know how to do it, right? I would put some time on your calendar if that's your way of doing things, or I would take some time, set apart some time to really ask yourself and dig into what are my stressors and what are my triggers? And you will find that as soon as you start to see that happen, um, you will be able to get a better hold of it. Okay, feeling overwhelmed, the team not listening to me. Absolutely. Marvin's here as well. Not finishing tasks and reference reports. Yeah, these are all important. All right. But I want you to start digging deep, right? So if I were to start digging deeper, I would ask myself, what tends to annoy me? What tends to be my trigger? And why is it that that is a trigger for me? Right. And then don't arm yourself with this trigger. Right. It's not to walk around town saying, oh, this is my trigger. So don't you press my trigger. That is not the case here. It's quite the opposite. It's to identify that that is your trigger and then to identify when it's coming. Oh, that's a trigger of mine. But this time, I'm not going to react how I normally would react, right? And you start trying that a little bit more and more and more as you go along. And then soon you'll begin to elevate and things won't bother you as much, right? So um, I I have, there was a comment here about too much hatred in the world, right? I did see that as well. And Carlos had mentioned around the world, the way the world is going in with climate change. And while all of those things are true and all of those things are happening, and we really care about those things, I want you to be super realistic in this activity about what you can control and about what you cannot control, and focus on the things that are within your power of change. Okay, this is really what we need to do to have that peace and that serenity. Um, right on the screen, there are some additional tips for you here on how you can go about um, kind of managing stress and keeping a close eye on it as you go along through life, right? And that's keeping a stress journal, reflecting on your physical or emotional responses and putting it in that journal, right? When major life changes come, let yourself know, give yourself grace, pay attention to those thoughts and those beliefs, and start to really think about your daily habits and are they conducive to creating this positive environment, right? Um, all right, we have a couple more in the chat box here, and um, Marvin says we need to manage the trigger ourselves as much as possible. He's absolutely right. Carlos says ignoring advice due to pride, that could be a source of frustration. Spending an hour with customer service on the phone. Absolutely. So those are, you already know that these things are happening to you. You already know that you're going to feel that way. So now you want to start to do work in advance, start to set good intentions so that you can weather through the storm. It's a new phrase that I have, staying steady in the storm. All right, so that's enough from me. Um, I hope that you enjoyed yourself so far and that you're learning a ton. If you're learning a ton, can you just give me some heart emojis or something in the chat? I would love to know that you're following along and that you're learning a ton. Um, Awesome. But before I turn it over to Tong Tong, I do want to let you guys know that you will certainly want to stay for this portion of the workshop. We're going to teach you some techniques that people pay big money for. And it'll be very helpful if you were to stick with us. So, Tong Tong, I'm so excited to have you on, and I turn it over to you.
Yay, thank you, thank you. And actually, like on the comments, Jason made a really great comments on like the things that we can control, the attitude, behavior, conducts, personality, ideology. So I
Yes.
feel like, wow, all of those, like we can definitely apply the tools and techniques that we're going to discuss today to all of those perspectives. So great comments. All
Excellent.
right. So now that we've identified the personalized, stressors and triggers, it's really the time to develop strategies to manage them, right? So let's brainstorm together. What are some activities or practices that help you feel calm and relaxed? So just type your answers in the chat box and share with us. Like for example, every time I feel like, oh, I need to relax a little bit, I play Lego pieces. I love Lego. And I walk my dog in a park nearby my apartment. So spa is a really great one. I love that. And to be honest, I feel like spa works perfectly for me. And I really love the deep tissue massage. Every time I feel like stressed on my body, like my body really react to my emotional stress. So spa is a great one. Nice. And I saw working out. Nice. Hug, dog. Music. All of those are great ones. All right. Meditate, breathing, definitely. You guys already covered many of the techniques that we would like to cover today. What does that mean? That really means that you are on the right way to help yourself. Nice. Meditating, listening to music, exercising, taking a walk. Right. Nice. So we're here today not to teach you guys, actually, just to remind you of all the great tools you already know in your subconscious mind. So, all right. Today we will cover 8 stress management techniques, including mindfulness meditation, physical exercise, relaxation techniques, cognitive restructuring, emotional freedom techniques tapping, time management, social support, and seeking professional help. So, the first one is mindfulness meditation. So, it really involves being present and aware of your thoughts and feelings without judgment. So when you meditate, actually, it is okay to have all kinds of thoughts and emotions coming out. No need to judge them or criticize them, just to leave them there. Grant those emotions and thoughts permission to come and go. So for you, just focus on the present moment. And what makes it interesting is that when you recognize those feelings and thoughts and do not judge them, they won't stay there forever and they gradually disappear naturally. So one example is just to find a quiet place to sit comfortably and focus on your breath. So when thoughts come into your mind, just acknowledge them, let them go, returning your focus to your breath. So, our next activity is a guided meditation together. Let's practice together. So, in this meditation activity, I will infuse with the Reiki energy at the meantime to help you guys relax. And this meditation is called the Ocean of Holy Love Experience. So just sit in a comfortable position, enjoy my voice since I will read a script and focus on your breath. When I stop talking, it's the time to enjoy the silence for additional 2 minutes, and I will guide you back to the reality then. All right, so are you ready for this? Let's do it. Just sitting in a comfortable position and close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths. This is the ocean of holy love experience. It is a beautiful day, warm and sunny. You are walking down a path in a beautiful forest. As you breathe into yourself, You breathe in the energy, the life energy of the forest. And with each step that you take, feel the energy of the earth flowing up through the bottoms of your feet. As you walk along, you notice up ahead it is getting lighter and that you're coming to the edge of the forest. As you walk out of the forest, you notice the path is getting sandy and you hear the sound of the ocean. Walking out onto the ocean, onto the beach, and the ocean is before you. It is a wonderful day, and slowly you begin to walk along the beach. As you walk along, you notice a log has been washed up on the beach, creating a nice place to sit and lean up against. Go ahead and sit and relax against the log. This is no ordinary ocean. It is the ocean of holy love. Listen to the sound of your breathing and imagine it is the sound of the waves washing up onto the beach and then flowing back in the ocean. The ocean of holy love is guiding you. Follow the guidance. You may continue with your experience as long as you feel guided to do so. And when you are ready, take a couple of deep breaths. Bring your awareness to your eyes and slowly open your eyes and come back. All right. So, how are you guys feeling? Any thoughts or emotions or any like views or anything coming out? Let's share your experience. Type in the chat box. Anything?
Yeah, let us know. I would say as people are typing, I'll let you know for me.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much that was needed today.
Yeah.
For me, I really needed that, and I really appreciate it. I feel so much calmer. Um, I'd love to bring Jana on the line really quick to see how she's feeling. So I'm gonna do that really fast. Jana, how are you?
Hello, I almost fell asleep.
Oh my gosh, so good. So good. Oh, we're getting a lot of great commentary. So let's see here. Jasmine,
Thank
so
you.
Song, you're amazing. Oh, feeling wonderful. Oh, amazing. I love that. Um,
Yay.
yes.
So
Okay.
happy that you guys love it.
Yes. I'm feeling relaxed. All right. So, sorry. Go ahead, Tong Tong. I was going to take over. Let me get off the screen.
No, like, Joanna, I'm really like, how do you feel about
Hello,
the?
I feel
Yeah.
super relaxed. I really liked how you were guiding like the visualization, and just visualizing it. I think helped me kind of stay in the moment. So that was really cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because the key point of the mindful meditation or any kinds of meditation is really being the present and don't think about too much, just focused on the present moment. And also this the ocean of holy love meditation, like you guys can also like listen to it in the replay video because with the time limit we only did like 2 to 3 minutes meditation, but you can do it like 10 minutes, 10 minutes or 15 minutes if you like. So it just depends on you guys. All right. So thank you, Jonna, for your great comments. All right. So let's move to the next one. We also got several other stress management techniques. The next one is physical exercise. And actually, many people mentioned exercises before, such as like yoga, walking, all of kinds of exercise can release endorphins. Actually, endorphins are natural mood boosters, so it can help you sleep better, improve your physical vitality, and boost your self confidence. So there are, as mentioned, that there are tons of different exercise activities that you can choose, including like running, biking, swimming, yoga, Pilates, hiking, or even dance class. So also the short walk and like stretch break during the workday can also work pretty well. So like for me, I feel like the key point is just to enjoy the exercise that you choose and persist to do so. So you can, try different kinds of exercise as long as you keep in mind that, oh, you have the, I need to give myself a little bit time for exercise to stretch myself a little bit. That's good. So the next one is relaxation techniques such as deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, and guided imagery. So all of those techniques can help activate the body's natural relaxation responses. One example is progressive muscle relaxation. So where you like slowly tense and then release different muscle groups in your body. So we will include a progressive muscle relaxation menu in the follow-up email so you guys could learn how to do it by yourself. The next one is cognitive restructuring. So this technique is basically identifying the negative or irrational thoughts and then replace them with more positive and realistic ones. So it can really gradually change your mindset. One example is to first identify a negative thought, such as I am not good enough, because usually sometimes the self sabotage. word coming to my mind is, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not perfect. So I would like to challenge it with a more positive and realistic thoughts, such as I have unique strengths and abilities. And remember to repeat the positive statement and make it a personalized self affirmation practice. So you can also add examples to convince yourself. For example, like, I have unique strengths and abilities, and I can learn things pretty quickly. I am empathy to others' feelings. I love listening to other stories. I have cooking skill, really good cooking skills, and I can sing pretty well. So the more you think positively, the more likely you will become relaxed and happy about yourself. And additionally, another great stress management techniques is emotional freedom techniques tapping. So it sounds pretty interesting, but a little bit unfamiliar, right? So this EFT tapping is a holistic approach that combines elements of traditional Chinese medicine with modern psychology. So the tapping involves like this techniques involves like tapping on specific points on the body while focusing on particular issues such as negative emotions or physical pain. So the aim of this EFT tapping is to balance the body's energy system, which is believed to be disrupted when the stress or other negative emotions occur. So actually, there have been several studies that suggest that EFT tapping can be an effective tool for reducing stress. Like for example, I read a systematic review published in 2019. This research found that EFT tapping was effective in reducing symptoms of stress, anxiety, depression, and even PTSD in a variety of populations, including um, adults, children, and veterans. So all of those findings provide promising evidence for the potential benefit of this technique. So after this, introduction, here comes our another activity is to try it by ourselves. Does that really work? Personally, it works really good for me. So that's the reason why I want to share this technique with you guys. So let's follow the steps and try it together. And at this point, we would like to invite two volunteers. Let's welcome Marvin and Jonna to come up on the screen and let's participate and practice together.
Yes. Marvin had some technical difficulties, so I will be your volunteer with Jonna.
Yeah, yeah, let's do it together.
All right.
All right, so our just like no other preparation, just relax yourself and let's get started. The first step is to identify the issue that you would like to work on. For example, for me, I would like to work on the issue that the stress occurred at midnight. So let's think about the issue that you want to work on. You could either type in the chat box or just to think about it.
Okay, I have one.
Mm,
I have one.
All right. Do you want us to
nice.
share or not yet?
Okay. So after identifying the issue, is the second step is to rate the intensity of the issue on the scale from 0 to 10, with 10 being the most intense. So personally, like my issue, I would rate it as 6.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, my issue, I'm going to put it at an 8.
Ow. That's a good one to work on.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. So, all right. The after determining the intensity. The third step, I think we can go to the previous slides so we can continue the third step.
Okay. We can go to slide
Perfect.
14.
Yeah.
There we go.
The setup. The third step is to have the setup statement. So the setup statement is the one that to acknowledge the issue and affirm self-acceptance. So the format of the statement is even though I feel, then you insert the issue. I deeply and completely accept myself. So for me, sometimes I want to add love myself as well. So I would like to do I deeply and completely accept and love myself. So for my issue, the example is even though I feel stressed at midnight, I deeply and completely accept and love myself.
Oh, can I tell you mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Excellent. So I have, even though I feel So even though I wake up super anxious in the morning for the first 2 minutes of my morning, like as soon as I close my eyes, as soon as I open my eyes,
Mm.
I completely accept and love myself.
Oh,
Is it my turn for sharing?
It's I guess it is.
I mean, mine's kind of personal.
Oh, then don't. Yeah,
feel free
don't
to
worry.
keep
Okay,
it.
thank you. Okay.
Yeah, feel free to keep it. It's a freedom. We have an open environment. Just be
Yeah,
yourself.
don't worry. You can hold that one to yourself. Yes,
Yes, I'm saying it to myself.
I
Yeah,
love it.
perfect. All right. So hope everybody has a set of statement. And then the next step is tapping sequence. So we begin the tapping sequence by tapping on the karate chop point on the side of the hand. So the karate chop point is just on the middle to the the lower part of the side of hands. You can choose either hand. It totally fine. And usually when I tap, I use 2 or 3 fingers. You can choose, or you want to use all the fingers. It's fine. um, and when we tap it, we repeat the setup statement 3 times. So you can speak it out or just say it silently.
So all you do is just keep tapping.
Yeah, keep tapping
Okay.
and repeating the statement. All right. So after tapping on the karate chop point, let's move to our next slides, and we can continue on the remaining points. So the sequence is following, and on each point, we tap 7 times each, and you can tap on either side of your body, or for me, I usually just tap on the both side of body. So let's do the both side together. The first point is the inside part of your eyebrow here. Just tap 7 times. And another side. The next one is outside of your eyes, 7 times. And another side. The next part is under the eye, and the other side. The next one is under the nose. And then on the chin. The next one is collarbone, the right side of your collarbone. The other side. And under the arm. The other side. And then we end with the top of your head. And one option is, oh, so this is one sequence. So one option is while tapping, you can repeat a reminder phrase such as this anxiety or this stress to maintain focus on the issue. But actually for me, I feel like it's a little bit difficult for me to like count while focusing on the reminder phrase. So I would like to just focusing on tapping. So I do feel like why it's helpful is I usually go to the puncture appointment once per week. So many of the acupressure or acupuncture points are the points that we are doing just now. So all of those could be helpful to release the stress or some pain on our body. So usually we repeat this tapping sequence twice while focusing on the issue. But because of the time limit, we only do it once. So after doing this twice, we can right now rate the intensity again from 0 to 10. If there's still some intensity, repeat the tapping sequence until the intensity level has decreased to a comfortable level for you guys. Yeah. So
I love it.
how are you
Excellent.
guys? Yeah. So how are you guys feeling right now?
Irene, I feel like, I guess, more kind of powerful. Like I have more power than I did before I did it. So,
I
Yeah.
yeah, and for me, I almost felt like as I was tapping, I was pushing that statement into my body, right? And then I also realized that it's a great way to kind of reposition your focus, right?
Yeah, and I do feel like because this one is unfamiliar, but I feel like it's a really good try because for me it's really like massage on my face. So
Mhm.
for really like the massage is really on the back, right? Especially there is a specific one is a more like a acupuncture pressure like massage. So I feel like oh we can just move that to have a little bit massage on our face. So I do feel like that one is a really interesting one. And overall, this one is a really simple and effective technique that can be done, anywhere, anytime to manage stress and negative emotions. So if you guys are pretty interested in that, we also offer a EFT tapping menu in the follow-up email. So every time you feel like, oh, the tapping, I remember that tapping, how to do that. Just, look at the email, find it, and have some tapping. Fun.
Yes. Thank
Yay. All right. So let's move to our next one. So with our time limits, I will briefly, discuss about the rest techniques. So this one is management, time management. Basically, like you can break down tasks into the smaller one or more manageable chunks and prioritize them. And the management matrix is a good tool to divide your tasks into four quadrants based on the level of urgency and importance. um, the social support, you know, there are many examples of social support that could offer the emotional support and also the sense of belongings. So the examples include joining a club or groups, volunteering, or simply reaching out to a friend or family members for emotional support. The last one is seeking professional help. So, if your stress levels are severe and persistent, so it may be helpful to seek professional help from a coach or other like mental health providers who can offer guidance and support for managing stress. So do not hesitate to come to coaching season and ask for help if you need it. All right. So let's go to our next topic, building resilience. So as mentioned that, resilience, it's perfect. The previous one, resilience? Yes. So resilience. So resilience is ability to adapt and bounce back from challenges and stress. And it is not a fixed trait, but rather a skill that can be developed and strengthened over time. Because there are so many contents about resilience, we will expand it to another workshop. So mainly focused on resilience. So in this workshop, we will just briefly discuss about some ways to build resilience to help you guys prepare for the future workshop. So the first one is developing a positive mindset. In this case, individuals can see challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. So it could be done by like self affirmations or gratitude journaling. And the second way is to enhancing emotional intelligence. So individuals can better regulate their emotions and also respond to like stressful situations in a calm and effective order and manner. The third one is building strong social connections. As mentioned, it can offer support and encouragement during challenging time. The fourth one is practicing self care. So taking some break from work and go for a walk, practice meditation, or just engage in a hobby that you like to better take care of your well being. The fifth one is setting boundaries. So setting boundaries can be achieved by setting limits on working hours or responsibilities that individuals can ensure like we can have more time and energies for other aspects of our lives, like families, hobbies, self-care, relationships, to have a more balanced life. All right. So we are at the end of this workshop, and I would like to actually share a poem with you guys. It is called Be Kind to Yourself by Kelly Robert. Just enjoy it. It's a little gift. So sometimes life is overwhelming, and it seems like there's no place to turn. There's no one looking out for you, and you can feel your stomach churn. This is the moment to remember you've got to be kind to yourself. Take some time to regroup and put those cares and stressors on the shelf. Take time out for a walk or listen to your favorite song. As long as you do something positive, you really can't go wrong. Letting go of the pressure for a while can often make all the difference. You can come back calm and refreshed and not feel like you're on the defense. Then you can take the stressors and cares off the shelf one by one and deal with them more patiently. Before you know it, they'll all be gone. All right, so as we come to the end of our workshop, I really want to thank each and every one of you guys for your participation and engagement. And I hope that you live here feeling empowered and equipped with the tools and techniques you need to manage stress and prevent burnout. And one thing to remember is that like managing stress and burnout is not a one-time fix. It's an ongoing process. So give yourself like practice, patience, and perseverance. But I believe that with the knowledge and tools you learned today, you will be able to face many challenge ahead with confidence and resilience, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so go out there and put those strategies into action. So take care of yourself, prioritize your well-being, and do not forget to reach out for support when you need it or when you want it.
Yes, we
And
are here for you.
Yeah, this is most importantly that don't forget that you are not alone. Like we are all together, and coaching season is always here for you guys. So let us know how it is going for you. And wow, so many great comments. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I know. Like when I like read that poem, I feel like wow, the energy over there is really empowering, relaxing, and loving. So I really want to share with you guys. Yeah, and um, one thing to mention. Oh, thank you so much. I actually like I. It's really interesting. Every time I share those with you guys, I feel really empowered and learn lots of stuff. So really thank you so much for offering me these opportunities to talk and share with you guys. And after the workshop today, we will send you a follow-up email as mentioned with a recorded session and many useful tools such as the 40-day mindfulness practice, the EFT tapping menu, the progressive muscle relaxation menu. So for free to use it and remember to use it. It will be really helpful and really interesting, really fun to do it. And yeah, and thank you again for joining us today. We really wish you all the best in your journey towards a happier, healthier, and more fulfilling life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.